He dwelt among us in the form of a man, sent by Jehovah the great I am. Surprise! That's right, I am a singer. And I want to tell you a little bit of a story. Back in 1997, in May of 1997, I was afforded the glorious opportunity of writing, producing, and recording a CD. The CD that we created was a compilation of 4 songs that were written by a couple of band members that were part of our group. The group that we had was comprised of 6 members. There were 2 bass players, 2 guitarists, a bass player, a keyboardist, a drummer, and myself on vocals. And the name of our group was called Seven. Our genre that the type of music that we created was from the Christian music genre. And I'd like to show you now the copy of our CD that we made. And here's the front cover. It's called Seven. That was the name of our group, and on the back there's the credits and all the information about the CD itself. Now, let me give you a little background on the story of how we got together and created the CD. We began creation about 4 months before actual production. We got together and we had some songs that we had written that had lyrics but no music. And we spent 2 days a week and about a month of solid practicing and learning the songs and putting the songs together to get ready for recording. And after, like I said, after a month, we come together and we were able to finish writing and getting the music and lyrics prepared. And so then after that, we began to make a plan on getting a studio and recording the album. So after a lot of investigation, we decided to go with a local studio called Grapevine Studios in Madisonville, Kentucky. The guy that owned the studio was a man by the name of David Hopp, who was a very, very good engineer, very good sound engineer. Actually, he had recorded a lot of country music for country music artists, one being Trisha Yearwood. The studio that we chose was a fairly small studio, but the equipment was incredible. There was hundreds of thousands of dollars that he had invested in this studio, and state-of-the-art equipment. Everything was immaculate. Now, to give you a little bit of a layout, the main room was an open floor plan, and everybody set up in the main room, and they had little pods that they began to record the music on. And so the vocals were actually in a separate booth. And so we sat there and we got all the recorded music together. We put it all on the tracks. And so this process took about 7 hours of just writing the scratch track and making the music. After the scratch track was finished, then it was time to record the vocals. Recording the vocals basically consisted of me going into a little bitty booth, putting on a headset, listening to the songs and to the music and singing along with them while the engineer punched the record button. And so once the engineer hit record, there's your vocals. And so after the vocals are finished, you go back and you critique, you make corrections, and you can actually back up to where the mistakes were made. You can punch in the new vocal and correct the problem. It saves a ton of time. And so after about an hour and a half of vocal track recording, it was time to lay down the additional harmonies and the backing vocals. Again, this is kind of a tedious process. So you go back through your songs and you find the spots where you want to add harmony to, and you punch in the vocal harmonies. Now, after the vocals are recorded and the backing vocals are finished, it's basically pretty much done for the most part as far as laying down the tracks. From start to finish, this total process took about 12 and a half to 13 hours. Now, after we were finished laying down all the tracks, it's time to do the final mixing. What the final mixing consists of is taking all the tracks, putting them all together, and equalizing all the noise levels, the sound levels, and reducing any unnecessary noise. This process took about an hour to complete. Now, that was pretty much from start to finish us recording the album. We did it all in one day. Again, it took about 14 hours total. Let me just say that recording an album was one of the greatest moments of my life. I really enjoyed doing it, and I'll always remember and cherish it. It's kind of a milestone in my life. And I use singing basically primarily for the gift in church and for inspiring others. And in conclusion, I want to encourage those of you that have a talent, that don't hide your talent. Use your talent. to help others and to inspire others. You know, everybody that's on this earth has a purpose. You have a purpose, you have a gift. And I want to encourage you to use your gift to help others. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail, because if you're afraid to fail, then you'll never succeed. Because in success, we have a lot of failures. But if we keep trying and keep going, we will succeed. And I say just go for it. Thank you.